Oi, oi. So, it is the Greyhound Derby final this Saturday. Obviously, I've been posting a few videos where I've been talking to some people that know about dog betting and giving them some money to bet with. In the comments before where people asked to do it, Daryl Carter did put his name forward. And of course, we know he is a decent judge on the flat, decent judge on the jumps. But I don't think he knows anything about the dogs. So, I'm going to speak to him in a little bit this afternoon and I'm going to give him a few pointers of how to pick dog racing and we'll see how he fares with it. I'm also going to do the sort of reverse. I mean, I do know a little bit about horse racing, you know, from the jumps, but there's 10 listed or better flat races this Saturday. So I'm going to speak to Darren and see if he's up for it. I'm going to give him some money to bet with on the dogs, with me giving him the pointers to make those selections. And I'm going to see if he's interested in doing the same for me on the flat, if he gives me some pointers towards it. You know I'm a snob, so like I say, I'm going to go for the listed or better class races. We'll do a video for each of these, so I'll keep them separate. There'll be a dog video out probably later today, if not tomorrow. And there'll be a horse video out again, either out tonight or tomorrow, and those videos will be showing our actual selections for the weekend, so you guys can follow in, see how we do, and then we'll catch up after to have a bit of a review of it. One thing I'm going to show you in this video though, and if Daryl's smart enough, he'll watch my channel and this may be a bit of a help to him. Obviously with informed guides and opinions, and especially in fields that you're not so sure on, it is always handy to look and see what other resource is out there. With the Greyhounds, there's lots of content, especially for the fact that it's the Greyhound Derby, they're head-on replays, lots of people's views and stuff. And while you want to make your own opinion, it can help when you're not as knowledgeable just to seek some other people's guidance. So the bit that I'm going to put in this video now is my tissue for every race, bar one, on Saturday at Toasted Dogs. There's 14 races. Now, I always do this. I price up a card, give myself an idea of what sort of price I think a dog should be, and then it gives me a bit more of a line of which ones I want to back. Now, just because I've priced every race doesn't mean that if a dog is a bigger price than my tissue means I'm going to back them. Like I say, I want to have them to have a bit of a chance. I will also price horses to 100%. I feel more comfortable doing that, and then I really do seek the value there. With the dogs, I always price it over round, so I aim for about 112% or 112.5%, just because they can typically be stingier on the dogs. With the exchanges and matchbook, things like that, you do get better percentages now. So basically the shorter ones that I like, I'm hoping the fact that I've put the big over round in there that we may get a little bit more squidge on a few of those, and I might find a few bets. But I'm going to flip the camera around now. I'm going to show you my tissue for the 14 races, give you a quick view of the ones that I want to bet or maybe want to bet, and then that's an insight to not only what Daryl will be selecting for the weekend and my flat selections, it will also be an insight to what I might be doing for the dogs. I will chuck a video out as well at some point Saturday, probably morning, to tell you what I have had a few quid on. So without further ado, let's flip the camera and keep this video short. Okay, so I appreciate I could have screen recorded this, but it's just quicker and easier for me to do it this way, to get out the little video, just to let you know what's going on. Now, like I say, I've written these tissues just as a bit of a guide. I didn't rush through them, but I did them fairly quickly. I feel fairly comfortable in getting a bit of a feel for it. I haven't even looked at any prices that have been chalked up, obviously other than the Derby final, but there could be some outlandish ones in there. For example, Foreign Rebel in the first, I don't know, he could be a lot shorter than the price that he is. Maybe if we zoom ourselves in, we'll get a better, oh yeah, look at that, look how zoomed we are. I just want to be able to get enough so that you can see the specific races, but you can see my percentage book across a lot of them. I haven't done the 11th simply because that is a marathon with not much form to get involved in there. I'd be guessing to price the whole thing up, but Lemon Extra, I think, looks like an interesting one, an interesting candidate to probably win that race. We'll go through race by race order. It makes it easy, doesn't it? In the first race, you can see my selection there, Foreign Rebel. Like time-wise on the clock, just has a lot more of an advantage than these other dogs. Got really far through the Derby as well. I think pace-wise on the outside has got a good squeak, so he'd be the sort of one that I would be looking to bet, even though he's not marked up as a nap or a next best. As I say, I could be well off with the tissues, but they're there anyway. Second race, this is a decent looking stayers race, to be honest with you. There's a few I think that have got chances in here. You can see Bombardier, Eski, Guri Steve and Burgess Elite, all relatively short prices. Now I know you might say a 5-to-1 dog isn't that short a price, but anything sub 5-to-1 in a dog race means I'm giving it a chance. I do think the Guri Steve is probably the most likely. I do also think, because there is that bit of depth in there, that there is some competition, you might end up getting the price about him. He would be one less likely than Foreign Rebel, that if I got the price, I'd probably re-look at the race. That's what I do with these tissues. If the market's been put up and I'm missing something on a few of them, I'll readjust and see what they are, and then trust my own judgment. After that, third race, again, I've gone for a middle trap. Havana Lover, it's a tricky one this race because this dog has got times on the clock but doesn't always necessarily do it. Black House Harry on the outside. I think between the two of those on the clock, they are the best two dogs in the race. I've probably made them both a bit shorter than ideal, so I don't know whether that would be a race I'd want to bet in, even if I was hitting the prices on either of those. We'd have to see how the market shapes up. Next race, the Havana class in trap 1. I made this a 6-4 poke. There is some good dogs in this race. I think it's got a reasonable draw. As you can see, I've put a few in there that are single figures, and then the dogs just on the outside of them are just like shortish 5-1 or under. So I give them a bit of a chance. Again, this is the tissue. I wouldn't be overly confident that I'd be smashing into Havana class even though I get the price. This race is an interesting one. There's lots of bitches in here that are very, very good. A lot of them maybe are better over a bit further. I wouldn't be overly confident in the particular race. As you can see, I give everything a bit of a chance in the race. Trapping and how they get to the first bend will be crucial. Betty's Book and Call of Aniani, like 500 metres at Toast does take some getting, but they probably want a bit further. So maybe that's why I sided a bit with Goldie's Mabbit. But again, price-wise, I'd revisit that. Just because it was, say, a 5-2 poke with the bookies wouldn't mean that I'd be steaming in, but gives you a view of how I see the race. Next race after this is the hurdle race, I believe. And there are a few dogs in here that I've got some time to make up on the clock, but I think they're capable of doing that. I do like the look of Tullig B. No Man's Land Fly is a good hurdler. He's been around for quite a while. Skywalker TikTok was very impressive in his trial. So I think he's the one that's probably going to take all the beating on the inside. We'll have to see what the market shows up on these because I could have got this one way off, but he would be one, I think, around that sort of price I would be tempted to back. Would be fearful of the 4 and the 5, so we'll see how the market shapes up. Moment of Magic, you'll see there that I've next bested this. Now, this is a dog. This is another one. I'm pretty sure it's over 500 metres, and I'm pretty sure that Moments of Magic does want further. I'm making this an even money poke, so we'll see what happens. I would be fairly confident I'm going to get that. The fact that I've next bested it means I'll probably want to get stuck in, but we'll see how the prices come out from it. And then, as I say, you can see with the other ones, there's a couple of dogs I don't really give much of a chance to, but fancy that Moment of Magic. We'll see what the price is. This is a great race. I've got Belmore Sally as my selection, but I probably could switch that to Call Me Steve. I was going to back him when he ran over the 7-12 before the competition started. He was 6-4 with Hills. I missed that. By the time I got in there, he's evens. He did Julie Oblige. I felt like he can't keep going to the first bend as quickly as he did. He did that in the first round, and then last time he did it again. And then by the time he reaches the third bend, he's already in front. Now, the same could be true here, but not that I'm saying that I just expect and anticipate he's going to miss one, but I feel like he can't keep going to the bend as quick as that. He's got a good draw on the inside. Belmore Sally was really impressive the last day. Time-wise was really good as well. And the way that the race is, we've got lots of dogs that want the inside. So Belmore Sally could get another good run on the outside. She was quickly away the last day, or quickly away for herself. So again, like trapping's really crucial on those two. I make it a match between the 1 and the 6, but if either of them get into some trouble, you can see Bubbly Crystal, Blueberry Bullet. If either of those went and got out on the bunny, then they could shape up for it. Probably, like I say, given the prices they are, I don't think I could get smashed into something. If Call Me Steve went out to like a 2-1 poke, which he won't, I'd smash him. If Belmore Sally was like a 2-1 poke, given the fact I've made her 6-4, I don't know if I could back her. So it'd be a race I might leave alone, I think. Then we've got a decent race here. Zynic Goofy was poor at the boxes last week, which is very uncharacteristic of him. Maybe that could happen again. Sydney Ace, Cape Cloud, Global Vision, all fly to the bend. But I think Zynic Goofy has got such a good draw that he could get out and gone from 5. He's the best drawn of everything in the race anyway. I would be happy to back him. And that 9-4 tissue that I've put there would be one that I would say, if I could get 9-4 about him, I probably wouldn't be too shabby about taking that. Wouldn't want to steam into him at that price, but let's say he was a 3-1 poke or something like that, I would say that was good value, so I might want to get stuck in. Is a hot race, let's make no mistake of that. Now here, I'm giving Goldie's Perryman a lot more credit than I suspect the bookmakers will. He always seems to be a big price. He chucked in a trial nearish to the Derby, which was pretty quick, but I didn't trust those times. He's got his draw in trap 1, which is good. It's not always the ping box. Chelmsford in 3 is the winner of this race as far as I'm concerned, but Goldie's Perryman, if he pinged, I think could go to the bend fairly handy, or at least close-ish to him. And if for any reason Goldie Perryman did lead, I'd give him a proper chance of still seeing this one out, you know. But Chelmsford, I think, will be short. I don't think you'd get the 2-1. Maybe on the machine we might. He'd be one that again, if he was on the machine at bigger than 2-1, I probably would want to have a bit of Chelmsford just because I think he'd be value. But I think Goldie Perryman will probably be overpriced. That said, a lot needs to go in his favour. 11th race was the race that I couldn't do because it's a marathon with not too much form to go in there. Then we've got the Derby itself. I've been generous in this race, I feel. I've given some credit to Hanno Hammond, where I feel like he's had trouble in his few races, and if he doesn't get that trouble, he could probably win this. But again, I think he could get trouble. Savannah Bone 1 will probably move off slightly, but isn't the fastest at the boxes. But then Kildare doesn't always ping. He usually shows early pace. Romeo Magico and Ford probably has got a plum draw if he pings. Again, he doesn't always smash out the boxes. Mickey's Barrett in 5 probably just isn't quite good enough. And Price's Jet on the outside, I think I'm going to make him short than a lot of bookmakers will, because I think he's got the makeup of the race. I think 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 could come to sort of together. Priceless Jet would need to skip round and be gone because he will cut in. But he did do the track record a couple of rounds ago, and he can trap. So I'd give him a chance. I feel like this is definitely a race that if it was run multiple times, we get multiple results out of it. I have got Kildare as my anti-post bet, but I showed you at the beginning of the thing. I'm still sort of sticking with that hope, in more hope than anything, but we'll see. And again, just because Price is Jet 72 there doesn't mean I'll be backing him at 6 on the machine or anything like that. I would probably just sit back and maybe leave it. I think Hanno Hammond's about a 6 or 7 to 1 poke with some bookies, which I don't think is a bad price. I think he's going to be the wise guys one, especially from the ping box in 3. He has got the 2 fastest dogs to the bend at either side of him though, which is a bit bizarre why we'd fancy him so much. Deanridge Skippy, backed him not last round, the round before. He ran in this consolation thing. The last race of the card, I didn't even really pay attention because I just didn't pay attention. He was a reasonable price, maybe 7 to 2. I think he was bigger on the exchanges. And Julia Blige, I think he was drawn in 6. Fancy him again. I like this dog quite a lot. Antigua Sugar on the outside is on the clock quick enough to do it and did find his way through dogs. So is the biggest threat, but Deanridge Skippy I fancy. I don't really give much of the field a chance, as you can see from the prices there. Deanridge Skippy would be my nap. I'd be disappointed if I didn't get 6 to 4 about him. I think I might get bigger. I reckon Antigua Sugar could end up being favourite, but I think Skippy will get on the bunny and be gone. So I reckon he's going to end up being a bet. And then the final race, almost a pointless one to look at, but Space Jet is so far clear of these dogs. It's a marathon. If you watch this, he's basically a second ahead, which is like 10, 12, 15 lengths faster than these other dogs. So basically they'll be turning the last bend and he'll be crossing the line. Savannah Volcano is capable of running closer, but Space Jet would need to get some sort of interference in there. Nothing else in the race has got a possible chance. So that's how I've priced up those races. As I say, the videos will come out with Daryl's selections, my flat selection, so you got a bit of bets coming for you for this weekend, and then we'll do a review video after. So if you've made it this far through the video, I do appreciate all your support. Please do like the video, subscribe if you do want to see more of this sort of stuff, and commenting helps too. Be lucky.